Hello, welcome to the Paul is the Best for UK Christmas Special 2025. Now in this video we're going to be looking at 12 games on both the Amiga and the Atari ST. It's going to be Amiga first, then the Atari ST, and we're going to compare most of them apart from the last two because two of them are Christmas special games, so stick around to the end if you want to see the Christmas games. So let's have a look at game number one. Right, today is Captain Planet and the Planeteers. This was also included in the Cartoon Classics pack on the Amiga 500, and I remember playing this back in the day, and a very impressive port on the Amiga. When I say port, I mean like a very impressive game based on the cartoon, loosely based on the cartoon of the same name. This cartoon was actually shown on BBC One back in the day, just before going live or live and kicking, I can't remember which. But yep, the Amiga version of this is the ECS version, by the way. It's not an AGA. None of the Amiga games in this video are AGA enhanced. They are all ECS based on the Amiga 500 Plus or the 500. I don't think any of them. I think they also most of them work on OCS as well, but. Yeah, this is Captain Planet, our first game for our Christmas special, and this game was brutally difficult. The game was about saving the environment, trying to save the ozone layer, and it was almost impossible to play. Not an easy game at all. You could get so far, you just got killed, you just lost all your lives. It was just a basically brutal game, to be honest. But it was kind of cool. It had some decent music, especially the Amiga version. We're going to take a look at the Atari ST version next. But yeah, a very decent game. It's got lovely colours in the sky as well. Reds all the way fading down to yellows on the Amiga version. So I'll shop up now. So we'll look at the Atari ST version next and listen to the rest of the music. Okay, so onto the Atari ST version. It's the same game pretty much, but I think it runs at a bit of a lower resolution and it runs at a bit of a lower frame rate as well, unfortunately. The colours are there, mainly. I don't think all of the colour depth of the sky is there, though. And the music's definitely not there, of course, because of the difference in the sound chips on the Atari ST against the Amiga. But yeah, it's still a valiant effort. I still would have been happy with this version of the game on the Atari ST. It sort of like does the part sort of thing. It's just as brutally difficult as the Amiga version. So what I'm going to say about this versus this is not much really, apart from the music and the additional colour depth. I think the Amiga shines ahead of this one, to be honest. The Atari ST version is good, but I think the Amiga just has the edge on these two, so I'm going to have to favour the Amiga. So on this one, Amiga 1, Atari ST 0. So we finish off Captain Planet and we proceed on to Dragon Breed. Let's start off with the Amiga. So we've got some excellent graphics, excellent music on this one actually, and excellent I think it's that parallax scrolling, I think it is. Yeah, so this is a great Amiga coin-up conversion. Okay, let's have a quick look at the Atari ST version that was released alongside the Amiga version. So, disappointingly, the Atari ST version isn't quite as good. It's still the same game, but I think the Amiga definitely has the edge. It's got better graphics and definitely better music. So, it's one to the Amiga again, unfortunately. So, if you're an Atari ST fan, yeah, it's good in its own right, but not quite as polished as the Amiga in my opinion. Let's change it a bit. Let's go Atari ST first this time, and we're going to go for a request from Facebook. Lee from Facebook. This is Lamatron 2112. So this time we're going to look at the Atari ST version first, and yet this game is wild. It's so cool. You automatically shoot. You're that horse guy, and you just automatically shooting everywhere. This game is chaotic. You've got Coca-Cola cans, you've got everything. It's just so fun to play. It's one of the most fun games I think I've ever played, actually. It reminds me of Robotron on the Nintendo 64, and yet this is a great Atari ST game. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this one first this time, mix it up a bit, and then we're going to look at the Amiga version next. So yep, this is an absolutely superb game. I highly recommend this if you've got an Atari ST. So let's have a look at the Amiga version. Onto the Amiga version now. Let's fade into it and let's see the differences. Right, okay, so this is the Amiga version, and just as good as the Atari ST, you would probably sort of expect that. Seems to be exactly the same on both systems actually, so I don't think you're going to get a better version on either machine. I do apologise about the interlacing on this. This is not present on the real Amiga hardware. It's just the way my emulator decided to capture it on the day. But yep, this is basically the same game on both the Atari ST and the Amiga. I can't see any differences even with the sound. So yep, both are fantastic. Draw on this one. So Atari ST and Amiga, both the same. From chaotic Lamatron games to a bit of pinball, we're looking at a game called Obsession, and we're starting off on the Atari ST. So this is Obsession. This is sort of like a Pinball Dreams clone. Now I do realise, or sadly, I've learned recently that Pinball Dreams is not on the Atari ST. So, but this is a game called Obsession. Now it doesn't seem to have any music in game, but it does have like musical sounds as you pass through certain checkpoints in the pinball machine, or like certain goals in the pinball machine. So that's kind of cool, and it does play like a Pinball Dreams machine, or Pinball Dreams game, should I say. Absolutely perfectly good 500 Atari 8-bit, Atari 16-bit 520 game that I think also runs in 520k. So yeah, brilliant game. I have learned recently that Pinball Dreams, the original game, only runs on a Falcon Atari for some reason. I don't know why, because the original Pinball Dreams runs on a 500 Amiga. But yet this is Obsession. This is probably the best game you're going to get in that sort of style on the Atari 520. So yeah, that's a really good start to the game. So let's have a look at the Amiga version. Onto the Amiga version of the game now, and unfortunately, yet again, sadly, the Amiga version has the edge. It's got music, listen to that. Now I don't know if you can enable music in the Atari ST version, I didn't check, but I'm guessing it's just the way it is. This is the Amiga version of Obsession, and as far as I can tell, the Amiga version has the edge of the Atari ST, which is sort of predicted with most of these games are going to be. I'm no Amiga fanboy or an Atari ST fanboy, I'm just saying how it is, and these are the games that we've got to review, and yeah, unfortunately the Amiga version, well, fortunately for Amiga fans, but unfortunately for the Atari ST, the Amiga version yet again has the edge of the game. So Atari ST, no. Amiga version, yes, but there is one caveat about that. It's a really decent Pinball Dreams clone for the Atari ST, so if there's no others, then yeah, absolutely, it runs perfectly fine on the Atari ST, just the music isn't there. So yeah, so let's have a look at the next game of this Christmas special. It's Turbo Outrun. So onto Amiga first. This is Turbo Outrun, and sadly the 16-bit version to Turbo Outrun was just as bad as the original game Outrun on the 16-bit platform. They did try, and I'll tell you what, looking back at the back of the box, back in the day, on the back of the cardboard box that you would get with the game, with the cassettes or the diskettes, it looked great. It looked like a really fun game, but sadly the frame rate's too slow, and the music's good though. And this is the Amiga version. This does not run on later Amigas, by the way, unless you've got Kickstarter, different Kickstarts. But yeah, this wasn't a great game on the Amiga. I mean, the music's good, and I suppose it's got a little bit of nostalgic charm. But let's have a look now at the Atari ST version. So we'll shut up a minute so we can listen to the Amiga music a bit more, and then we'll look at the Atari ST. Over to the Atari ST version now. So we got more like AY chip sounding music, of course, because we're going to have that on the Atari ST. The screen size, don't be fooled, because it's just my emulator's capturing. Sometimes it does the wrong screen sizes, so I'm not sure what if this screen size is actually smaller than the Amiga version. The Atari ST version of Turbo Outrun seems a little bit faster frame rate to me, and it does seem more fun to play. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do find the Atari ST version of Turbo Outrun slightly edge over the Amiga version. I think it just plays better somehow. You'll have to try it yourself. Try the Amiga version, then try the Atari ST version. See what you think yourselves. But for me, on this Amiga versus Atari ST showdown, I'm actually going to give Atari ST 1 point over the Amiga for this one. But that surprised you, didn't it? But yeah, that's today. Sorry, that's not today, is it? Because it's Christmas Day. That's the score for this one. On to the Amiga, and now we're looking at Lotus Turbo Challenge 2. This is a request. So we've got Lotus Turbo 2. Lotus Turbo 2. So the Amiga version of Lotus Turbo 2 has got excellent graphics. We've got some lovely artwork in this one. It's got sampled speech like mark, set, go as you start the race. This one actually has the edge over the Atari ST and probably all the other versions of the game actually. It's just brilliant on the Amiga. Really showing what the Amiga can do. We're going to have a look at the Atari ST version in a minute, but just bear in mind the road markings and stuff. And we will cross over to the Atari ST version. So let's have a bit of gameplay, and let's do that in a minute. So let's switch our system to the Atari ST. Now the first thing you probably would have noticed is the music differences. Obviously you've got the AY chip and the Atari ST, but one thing I didn't realise until making this video, this Christmas special, is the lack of road markings on the Atari ST version as well. The actual graphics look different. I didn't realise that until the making of this video. I thought they was both identical looking, but apart from that music, so that's surprised me actually. So yeah, sadly the Atari ST version doesn't quite have the same look to the Amiga version. It still plays well though. It's a really decent Lotus game, so we can credit it for that. So yeah, this is definitely not the worst version of Lotus. I remember there was a Mega Drive version of Lotus and that wasn't brilliant, but yeah, this is Lotus 2 on the Atari ST. So on this note, the Amiga wins. Right, onto a shooter from a driving game, and this is Xenon 2 Mega Blast. This is a well-known Bitmap Brothers game. I think they also did a game called Magic Pockets as well. And yeah, on the Amiga, it's pretty slow actually. It's got a slow frame rate, but it's got an excellent rendition of music. I'll show for a minute so you can listen. The frame rate on this game is pretty slow though, that's the only downside, but it is still fun to play actually. I did enjoy playing this as recording this video, so it's not a bad shooter, it's just a bit slow. Graphics are good, graphics are stylistic, and you can actually go down as well as up on this, so it's not just a vertical up, it's a vertical down as well, which is kind of unique for the genre. So let's have a look at the Atari ST version now. And the Atari ST version, as you can probably expect, pretty much the same, but we've lost the music, or we've got a rendition of the music in AY form. The gameplay's still there though, this is wrong with the gameplay. It's just, if I'm honest, the Atari ST version plays just as well as the Amiga version, but one thing to note that I didn't demonstrate in the video is they've got a rendition of the Amiga's music on the title screen. I think it's sampled though, I'm not sure, using like clever sampling technology. But yep, the Amiga version again has the edge on this one. It's a good game on both systems though, so we can't really complain too much. From shooters to EV adventures, we're going on to Stormlord now on the Atari ST, and yes, I remember this on the Commodore 64 actually. I had this on the Commodore 64 because it was part of a magazine cover tape. Not really had much experience with the 16-bit versions, but yeah, this is a really spooky eerie game on the Atari ST. Liking this one actually. You can see that we've got some like wind effects on her hair and stuff. Watching out for this skull, I don't think it does anything though. But yeah, you get these like sort of groups and stuff that try and attack you. Really good on the Atari ST. Nice background music. I will show up for a minute so you can listen to it. If you stay all the way to the end of the video, we've got two games, one for the Atari ST and one for the Amiga. They're both Christmas games because it is Christmas, so just stay to the end of the video and you'll see both games. They're both homebrew games. They're not the same games, so yeah, we'll wait until that. But yeah, Stormlord is a great game on the Atari ST. Let's have a look at the Amiga version now. So this is the Amiga version. It's a bit more detailed actually. It's got like a sort of wind, like a sort of more of a vibe of less music on this version. I'm not sure which I prefer actually, because I do like atmospheric games, but I also like games with like sort of music, so this is a hard one for me. Let's sort of like play through the game a bit and see what we got. Watching out for these grubs and shit. Oh, we got some thunder and lightning in the sky as well. Let me know in the comments which version you would prefer, the one with the music or the one with the ambient sounds like the wind noise and stuff. I think I prefer the one with the music, if I'm honest. But yeah, that's Stormlord. It's a bit of a tie for me. I'm going to give Amiga versus Atari ST Stormlord a tie. I'm going to say both 8 out of 10. So we're going to proceed on to another driving game now. So let's play this a little bit more and let's proceed on to Stunt Car Racer. So on to Stunt Car Racer. This is the Amiga version, and yeah, of course the Amiga version is very fast and fluid. It's a lot faster than the Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC Spectrum versions, of course. Not as fast as the PC version, of course, because the 386s can handle this sort of work a lot better than the 68,000. But the caveat is the PC version never had this colour mode, it was just limited to CGA, so it was probably always going to be better on the Amiga anyway. So yeah, this is the Amiga version of Stunt Car Racer. Absolute brilliant game, brilliant physics simulator, if you like, by Jeff Crammond, I think his name was, and one of the all-time classic driving games that most people know. Most people have played this who are into retro gaming, and it's one of the best games on any system. And to be honest, this Amiga version, this is the 500 standard version, sort of puts the SNES to shame, doesn't it? Because it's just running so fast, so smooth, so fluid. This is no Super FX chip in the Amiga, and it's just running as good. So without further ado, happy Christmas, and let's check out the Atari ST version, which is coming next. So let's have a look. I don't think I've played the Atari ST version much, but here it comes. Right, okay, so this is the Atari ST version of Stunt Car Racer. And yeah, just as good actually, to be honest. It's got different audio, of course, because it's got different audio sound chips, but just as fluid. It's potentially even slightly smoother than the Amiga version. I'm not quite sure. It runs really fast, right? Yeah, look at that. It's just really really smooth, really works well. So yeah, I'm going to have to give Stunt Car Racer, the Amiga and the Atari ST a massive tie, because they're just as good as each other, to be honest. So that's them two games. Now we've got one more to do before the Christmas games. So this is the Atari ST version of Pac-Land. Yeah, a bit ropey, to be honest. It's not quite as good as some of the other versions of the game. It's based on the coin-op machine of the same name, and I suppose back in the day it would have been quite good, but it's a bit slow with the frame rate. The music's okay, and the collision detection is okay, but it just runs slow half the time. It's just quite a slow experience. So this is the Atari ST version of Pac-Land. We're going to look at the Amiga version next. Let's check out the Amiga version. It's not much better, to be fair. It's still quite a slow experience. The frame rate's quite jerky and slow. This is obviously early programming, both the Atari ST and the Amiga, and I don't think they quite got to grips with it yet, because the Spectrum version plays better than this actually. It's not great, to be honest. I think I would say the Atari ST version plays better than the Amiga. So on that conclusion, this is the end of the face-off, to be honest. Or is it? I don't know. We're going to look at some Christmas specials in a minute. 2 Christmas special games from both systems. But yeah, I'm going to say that Pac-Land isn't great on either system, so I'm going to give it. I think the Atari ST has slightly edge over the Amiga on that, so I think the Atari ST is the winner. So let's have a look at 2 Christmas games on either system. So starting on the Amiga, we've got a homebrew game called Santa's Present Drop. Not sure when this was released, but I found it recently in my ROM collection, so let's have a look at Santa's Present Drop. So I think basically what you've got to do is just throw presents into people's chimneys on this one. Oh. So let's try that again. You actually control the game with the mouse, not the joystick. I don't know if you can change that configuration to use joystick instead, but the way I saw it, you're controlling it with the mouse. So nice Christmassy game. Nice music as well. So on to the Atari ST, and we're looking at a game called Star Wars Christmas. Now this is a very cool game I recently found, but I think it's quite older. I think it's like from 96 or something like that, but this is a homebrew game that is obviously a Mario Brothers clone and Super Mario Brothers clone, and absolutely cool game. Sadly it's got that music in game, but other than that, a pretty decent Super Mario Brothers clone for the Atari ST. So what do you think about that? I think it plays really well. It's snowy on the game, so the floor's quite slippy, so you've got to be careful that you don't fall in the holes and stuff. But yeah, it's a really good Mario clone, so if you've got an Atari ST, maybe check this one out, Star Wars Christmas. So I'm not going to say there's a clear winner between the Atari ST and the Amiga, because that would be pointless with the games I've actually reviewed and the lack of depth in my reviews. But yep, that's the Christmas special. Hope you had a good Christmas day. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.